Okay, class, time's up. Now let us see the movie posters that you have prepared, okay? We'll ask each group to explain their work to the class. Let us begin with Group 1. Members of Group 1, kindly stand up to send your work to the other group.
Here is our poster. Edgar Allan Poe Production presents Edu Manzano as Montresor, Tonton Gutierrez as Fortunato in The Cask of Amontillado, The Revenge. A terrifying thriller of obsession and revenge. And our adverb says, so, you think you can trust your friend? Think again. And here are our names as the technical staff.
That's very interesting, Group 1. Now, can you explain to us why and how you came about with the casting, with the list of actors? Yeah?
Ma'am.
Yes, JP.
We took Edu Manzano as Montresor because of his sinister-looking nature. And as we know in the story, Montresor cunningly plans the avenge to the insult of his friend Fortunato.
Tonton Gutierrez provides a good contrast as Fortunato to Edu Manzano's character. Fortunato, as we all know, is a connoisseur of wine, although he's quite gullible sometimes. Hence, Fortunato does not see through Montresor's friendly guise. As we see in our drawing, Fortunato is dressed like a clown. This is because the story takes place during the carnival season.
So Group 1 has Edu and Tonton as their lead actors. Now, Group 2, what do you think about Group 1's choice of actors? Yes, how about you, Pat?
I think Edu Manzano is a good choice for Montresor, but Tonton Gutierrez is a strong character for the role of Fortunato. Besides, I don't see him as gullible. Maybe Albert Martinez would be a better choice for that role. And let's not forget that Fortunato, apart from being a wine connoisseur, also drinks quite heavily.
So, whom have you chosen for your roles, the roles?
Ma'am, we have decided on foreign actors instead. Like, for example, for the role of Montresor, we think that John Malkovich will do justice to the role. And for the role of Fortunato, we think that Clint Eastwood will make a good Fortunato.
Don't you think they're a little too old?
Maybe, but we believe that for one to be an expert in wine tasting, he would have to be an experienced person.
That's right. Besides, if you take note of the last sentence in the story, it states that for half a century, no mortal has disturbed them. Well, we all know that the story is from the point of view of Montresor. Hence, they must be old by then.
That's an interesting idea, Aiko. What does that mean? Yes, Ryan?
Montresor was referring to the people buried in the catacombs.
One question.
Yes, Melody.
Isn't the whole story just a flashback? Because I believe at that point, Montresor was merely recalling the events that happened 50 years ago between him and Fortunato.
Very good, Melody. I'm very glad that you noticed those minute details. Otherwise, we would have missed a very crucial part of the story. Now, class, how old do you think were they when they committed the murder?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, they
Sure.
could be in their 30s. So I think Montresor, by the time he would tell the story, he would be in his 80s.
Excellent. That's good thinking, Jomer. Now, I have another question. How are the characters of Montresor and Fortunato revealed in the story? Yes, Ryan?
Ma'am, at first, we are introduced to the character of Fortunato by what Montresor says about him. Later, at the carnival, the narrator, who is also Montresor, gives us a physical description of Fortunato, the way he looks and how he is dressed.
Very good. Anything else? Who can add to that? Melody?
Ma'am, through his actions, we also found out that his egoism makes him quite gullible.
Now, how about Montresor? Yes, Jomer.
Mostly, we base our characterization on Montresor's narration. We know him to be very proud and unforgiving.
Ma'am,
Yes, can you add to that?
in addition, I see Montresor as a shrewd and scheming character in the way he planned his revenge on Fortunato.
So, would you consider them to be round or flat characters? Pat?
I think Fortunato is a flat character because he remains gullible and self-centered until the end.
Do you agree with Pat, class?
Yes, ma'am.
How about you, Aiko? Do you agree with her?
Ma'am, I think Patricia is right. Fortunato does not gain insight or knowledge about the truth until the end of the story. However, on the other hand, Montresor provides the contrast. He becomes vindictive after receiving the insult from Fortunato. But ma'am, in my own opinion, even though the characters or the change in the characters is not really that positive, I can say that Montresor has become a different person after the incident.
Very good answer, Icon. Now let's see the rest of Group 2's poster. Group 2, kindly stand up. Group 1, thank you very much. You may now sit down. Job well done. Okay, who's your spokesperson? Yes, go ahead, Pat.
So, our poster is set in the vaults of the Montresor, where the climax of the story takes place. Here are the catacombs, and this is the interior where Montresor succeeds in his evil plan for Fortunato. Gimmick Production presents an Edgar Allan Poe film, The Amontillado. How does the sherry taste? What price is there for friendship? Don't miss the year's most terrifying movie of insult and betrayal. PG-13.
Very good. Now, both of your ad blurbs mention the friendship of Fortunato and Montresor. Now, who can explain how this friendship became betrayal? A story of betrayal, of revenge, and so on. Yes, Christine.
As we all know, the story is told from the point of view of Montresor, who talks about the insult of Fortunato on him. Although he does not exactly mention how or why he was insulted, this becomes the basis of his revenge.
How does Montresor plan his revenge? Ryan.
Well, he tricks Fortunato into joining him in the catacombs. Knowing fully well that Fortunato is egoistic, he brings up into the issue that on who is the better connoisseur between Fortunato and his rival, Lucchesi.
Yeah, can you add to that, Melody?
Ma'am, I think Montresor uses reverse psychology on Fortunato. So, the more Montresor stops him from going down to the catacombs, the more that Fortunato insists in going with him.
What other incidents do you find to be ironical? Yes, Pat.
Montresor shows concern for Fortunato's health, when in fact, he plans to kill him.
Very good. Now, Group 2, that's a job well done. Group 1 and Group 2, let's give ourselves a round of applause.
We shall discuss the other elements of fiction, such as narrator, point of view, and the plot. We will also point out how the discussion of these elements was integrated into the classroom scene we saw earlier. Meanwhile, let's pause for some reminders.